With Valve removing jump throw binds, what better time to revisit our Mirage mid utility than right now? In all seriousness, I'm able to hit every single mid smoke consistently without a bind, and so can you. So I'm going to show you everything you need to know to be successful in this area of the map. Let's start out with the infamous window smoke. Early on into CS2, most pros would throw it this way. And while this still works great and completely covers window, at higher levels almost everyone is breaking the smoke by doing a right-click jump throw at the window like this. The reason you want to throw it on the outside of the window is so that it doesn't deal any damage to you as you're peeking. A few months back, Austin CS showed off a new way to throw this smoke that didn't break from that HE lineup. All you have to do is aim a little bit higher than the previous one and hold D while you do a jump throw, and it should land in a similar position, but this time it's not going to break from that lineup, as you can see right here. It's completely unfazed. One thing to keep in mind is how low that HE is going. So instead of throwing it like this to where it's going to go super low and not get broken, you can throw it higher by crouching into this corner of the sawhorse, finding this black dot, standing up, and doing a right-click jump throw. As you can see, you can still peek without any issue. After spending a ridiculous amount of time today, I've actually found a lineup that doesn't get broken by either of these HE grenades. And it's actually pretty simple to throw. You're just going to do a crouch walk jump throw from the top right of this building down just below this portion of the trim towards the top. It's going to look something like this, and it's very consistent and easy to line up. It's going to end up landing right in the center here, where it looks like it would probably still get broken, but for some reason, I have no idea why, it just doesn't. Now, of course, they could always just right-click an HE right into the middle of the smoke, but they're going to take damage, and most players are going to try to throw it the first way, so it may surprise them when it doesn't get blown up at all. Now, quite a few of the instant window smokes land in a similar fashion to where they're also difficult to break. Now, after a little bit of practice, your instant window smoke should still be 100% consistent once you learn the timing of a manual W jump throw. You're just going to tap W at the exact same time. I'm showing off all of these quickly on screen right now with a little guide, as you've probably noticed, in the top right. Feel free to rewind, pause, or slow this down at any point, but I just don't want to go through each and every one of these specifically. And hey, while you've got the video paused, make sure to leave a like, or maybe even consider subscribing. And as you can see right here, every single one of those instant mid smokes are inside the window and did not miss. But hey, before we move on to the other utility for mid, I want to thank today's sponsor, SkinsMonkey. So, SkinsMonkey is an automated CS2 trading site that provides an instant way for you to get new skins. All you have to do is select your old skins that you don't want anymore and then pick out some fresh ones to trade for. It's as easy as that. And right now you could get a free $5 if you use code TACTICS on the site. And finally, you could get up to a 35% deposit bonus when using my code. So thanks again to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Links in the description. So there are plenty of other smokes you can pair up with the mid window smoke. Another that's thrown literally every round in professional play is the top mid cross smoke. That's going to allow you to get to the boxes without being spotted. Back in CSGO, most people would throw it by jumping on top of this trash can and doing a left click at the right side of this antenna. Now that would block information from anyone in window, but they were still exposed to connector. With the new smokes in CS2, if you go into this corner and do a simple left-click throw at the top of the antenna, it's going to land further back, denying both mid and connector visibility. This is great to throw whether you've thrown the mid window smoke or not, because it just applies extra pressure to the mid players, especially if they're pushing through that con smoke a lot. They're just not going to know if you're up on boxes, which is going to slow them from gaining that extra information. Now, speaking of that con smoke, if you go into the exact same corner as before and go up to the second step up on this pattern and do a simple jump throw, that's going to end up landing on the inside of connector, completely smoking it off all the way up to the top without leaving a gap at all where they can't peek you as you're taking mid control. Now, when it comes to smoking off short, I go into that exact same corner and do a jump throw where these two buildings intersect. Now, that is going to go all the way down right along this corner, and the reason I like it to come out this far is so that they can't use this area as cover. It's pretty tough to deal with it whenever they're able to peek in and out from right here and then get right back into safety. Now, one issue with the short smoke is they're actually able to boost on top of the bricks and get a nice little peek into connector. So if you're more concerned about that happening, from the front of this trash can, you can line it up as shown from this small part of the leaf all the way up to this top wire and do a W jump throw. Now, this is going to go all the way up, and it's going to land on the far left side of this brick pile to where not only is it going to smoke off boost, it'll even expand all the way in front of the ladder room entrance. Another very useful smoke is a top connector smoke that's going to allow you to take a little bit more space and disrupt that CT defense even harder. One of the fastest ways to throw this is by going into this corner and aiming just to the right of this little support and doing a W jump throw. Now that should go all the way up here. It's going to bank off the side of this little wall, and it's going to land down in the dead center of top connector, fully smoking it off. However, the easiest and most consistent way is from this line right here along the door, and then you're going to do a simple jump throw at the top of this antenna. Every single time, that is going to bank off that same wall and land in the same fashion, but it's a little bit more consistent and easier to throw. And you're off to the races to a very cleared out connector. Once you've taken full mid control, there's often that what now feeling. So here's some utility you can use to move into the next step towards taking one of the bomb sites. From this corner right here, you can just do a simple left click throw towards the lower right hand portion of this palm leaf, and that's going to go all the way into jungle and smoke it off to where you're going to be able to split in towards a site through connector. As you can see here, there's no gaps on either side and plenty of room to take space. A great smoke to pair up with that is a CT ticket smoke by just going to the lower left hand portion of this palm leaf and doing another simple jump throw. Now that's going to end up bouncing all the way off of the ground here and landing up on top of the box, completely eliminating the possibility for that boost over the box, and it's going to spread all the way from the right to the left of CT. Now also, if you're just stuck behind these boxes and worried about someone peeking after that smoke fades, well, you can always re-smoke it by just going into this corner and going up from this antenna all the way where it would intersect with the top of this box. It's just going to look something like this. Very simple left click throw. It's going to bank off of this back wall and completely smoke off mid-window. And if you want to re-smoke cat, you can go to that left corner and just do a simple left click at the top of this antenna, and boom, you're going to have this position smoked off yet again. Another smoke that I like to use quite a bit is where you're going to be an underpass in this corner and just do a simple left click throw at the top right of this pole. That's going to end up landing up here, and it's just your standard jungle smoke that you would typically throw as a part of an A site execute. But when you throw that from mid, it actually enables you to push up through connector and clear out towards jungle and window. So yeah, all of that is what I consider to be the essential smokes to learn for mid on Mirage. I threw all of those without a jump throw bind, and I'm completely confident that you guys can too. If you enjoyed this, go ahead, leave a like, comment, or maybe even consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one.